Attention bobsled riders! You will soon be embarking on a thrilling podcast down the icy slopes of the Matterhorn. So please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the bobsled at all times. Auf Wiedersehen!
Hello, Yodlers. We are the Matterhorn Yodlers. I am your host today, Jackie, and we have
G5th.
and
I'm Peter.
Peter's
Just
here.
Peter's here today.
Well, you're blanking.
I am blanking, but like honestly, this is about my opinions.
Yeah,
So.
and we are.
You're speaking your
I'm
truth.
speaking my truth right now.
We are talking about the next era of movies, which for most people, I guess, don't know. There are different eras of movies.
Because like when people go like, "Oh, what's your favorite movie?" and it's like,
Depends on the era.
Depends on the era.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different because it's hard for me to compare like a movie like Peter Pan with a movie like Rapunzel.
Right.
It's just like two different eras, two different types of storytelling.
Different art form.
Right.
Or
and
medium.
so we've gone through the different eras. We are now
It's hard to compare Fun and Fancy Free with like Pocahontas. You're
Right.
like, boy, that's really
Yes.
so
correct.
correct.
This era of movies that we're talking about are movies released from 2000 to 2009.
The post-Renaissance.
The post-Renaissance era.
We left off on Tarzan was the last one.
Yes.
Yes.
That was the beginning of the end right there.
And the movies that are in this era are Emperor's New Groove, Home on the Range, Bolt, Brother Bear, Chicken Little, Dinosaur, Fantasia 2000, Lilo and Stitch, Atlantis, Meet the Robinson, and Treasure Planet. So, a good amount of movies.
Yeah, Peter, you said earlier you were
11
surprised how many.
movies. There was 11 movies in this era, and people also call this the experimental era because there was definitely
A lot of CGI.
There's a mix
There's
of
a
mediums.
mix, yes.
and
different types of storytelling.
and some of the CGI you watch 20 years later and you're like, that's horrible.
Yeah. A lot of it has to do with Pixar, though. Because of the Pixar success, Disney
Yes.
wanted to jump on that. This is the era where Disney didn't own Pixar, and so they're like, well, we could do what Pixar's doing.
And they couldn't.
And they can't.
They could not.
No. So, we are going to talk about each of the movies and our rankings of it. So, let's start with the worst one. So, what was your bottom?
Chicken Little.
Chicken Little.
That movie's horrible. I'd never seen that movie.
Mine's Bolt.
Okay.
I was a lot more. I paid a lot. Chicken Little made me stop doing laundry, folding laundry.
It throws a curveball.
Then
That's for sure. I had this like, oh, we're in a Zootopia town, and then aliens show up, and you're like, what?
Okay. It's an interesting take on the sky is falling storyline, but it lacks in so many avenues. I don't care about, and the only good character was Fish Out of Water.
Yeah.
He was the only good
Les
character.
was better in this.
All the other characters, there was no real original music. They all just used, Spice Girls and,
It had this
don't know.
DreamWorks
They had
feel
Queen.
to it.
I could see the
Yes.
DreamWorks feel.
Absolutely.
I felt like, because I just watched Madagascar for the first time with my daughter, and she's 4, so we're, she's seeing new things, and she's like, she thinks it's amazing, and I'm watching, I was like, this is garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. Chicken Little's not great, but it's not the worst for me.
Where did that rank for you?
It's like in
2.
it's like my bottom.
It's right
3.
next to it, Into the Woods.
It's number 1 for me. No.
Ride or die to the end.
No, it was in my bottom 3.
Okay,
So,
that's
All right.
fair.
Bolt was my bottom. I just didn't care for it.
It's taken me a couple times to finish that movie. My wife liked it, but she was like, she's younger than me, so she was transitioning out of watching kid movies. And
Starring Miley Cyrus, but I don't know. The story was just like you said earlier with like Chicken Little, it was gave DreamWorks vibes. And
Well, the thing with Chicken Little was, it was like they're trying to tell a story about a son and dad,
Right.
but then they have this alien aspect where they're trying to find the lost son or alien
son and
child.
dad, same story, but
It was,
different
it was
perspective.
just weird.
Yeah.
I just
didn't
couldn't get the
hit.
story, and I was like, I hate this. I was watching this and going, I hate this. This
It
is,
was
and I
not
watch a lot
enjoyable.
of dumb
That's
I
so
watch dumb
interesting.
kid shows, and this was the worst.
I went into Chicken Little expecting it to be the worst, but
I had no expectations with this.
I expected it to be the worst, but it caught me off guard. Like, I would watch it again. I would watch it over Bolt.
I thought Home on the Range was going to be the worst.
I thought so too.
I thought so too, but it wasn't.
It wasn't.
That was number 10 for me.
Yeah, it was.
That was my number 10.
was
Was
my
Home
number
on the
10.
Range.
I want to get more into Bolt because, like, Jackie's mentioned it, so we
Okay,
could just
so we'll
discuss
talk
it.
Yeah,
about-
what's Bolt?
Bolt was kind of like 7. That's where I had Bolt. I thought it's a cute story. Is it the greatest? No, it's not the.
It does have a linear story at least.
Yeah, like it's easy to follow.
Is it predictable? Yes.
Yeah.
And that's its biggest flaw.
Yeah,
It was hard for me to
there's
watch.
some cute
there
scenes.
was no
Like I love the whole.
uniqueness.
It's actually close to a Pixar story.
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah.
With the identity of like, I thought it was this superhero and I'm not, and I'm trying to get back home. It's Finding Nemo. Like,
Right. I thought, I love the scene where he's begging for food at the trailer park. I thought that was fun. Where he's like, "You have it so easy, just do this." And then there's the whole scene where the cat tries to beg, like, "Get out of here, stupid cat!" So that was hilarious.
Well, and you're
Like,
a dog. You're a dog owner. You live around dogs.
You own a few.
I've owned a few dozen dogs. Yes.
Your house is turning into 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah, it feels like it. It does feel like Canine Crunchies, absolutely. Canine Crunchies, cat baby. Yeah, I feel like I sing that.
So I
every day.
could see your connection to.
My wife really enjoys that one. So do my boys.
She seems to connect with animal stories
Yeah.
more as we've gone through these lists, and as you mentioned,
Yeah.
which I could definitely see that with her personality, and it's great. Like the Disney gets to different people at different times. What was the worst part of it for you, Jackie? That was just like unforgivable.
It was just, I don't know. It was
Was it
boring.
flat?
It's predictable. It was flat. It's just not one that I would go to again.
Okay.
It's just like, I remember going.
Should it be thrown in the vault and never be
I love
opened
the
again?
song "Barking at the Moon." I like the song. That's a good song. I'll listen to that one.
I actually have a story because I remember seeing this in the movie theater. There was like a group of us friends were going to see it, and there was like the It Boy and that like all the girls were like, "Oh, I like you," and
Do that again.
I'll put this on repeat.
I want this on recording. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
fine.
You put yourself out there being like, I'm a younger person.
It is what it is. I'm not ashamed. I've said a lot more sillier things online.
It just entertains me in this moment. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. But like this guy, he was like, "Let's sit in the front row of the movie theater," and I was just like, "That's stupid," and I went and sat like somewhere else. And all the other like people were like, "Yeah, let's sit in the front row," and I was like, "Y'all stupid! I pay good money for this."
Movies ain't cheap, y'all. I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch this movie where I'm gonna enjoy it.
Exactly. So I have a fun memory of that. So maybe that has something to do with why I don't like Bolt, but
I was a rebel.
I,
Screw you, front seaters.
am I the
Christopher Nolan, not every seat is a good seat.
am I the elf in Santa Claus series or
Dripping maple syrup and gambling. What was his name? Randy or
yeah? You said there was 11.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, it was
11
11.
total.
Yeah, my second one is Home on the Range.
Home
Or
on the
the
Range.
second from the bottom is Home on the Range.
Right, number 10 for me.
There were some funny moments, like the outside character. There were some like funny things that were going on, but when they try to be funny,
Oh yeah, it falls
it was
flat.
so flat.
You're absolutely right.
Roseanne, she just couldn't carry it.
To me, the redeeming quality of this movie is
It's
the
the music. And
Yes,
Alan
it was.
Alan Menken did the music. That was the only good thing about the
Correct.
movie.
Correct.
The characters,
The story,
you couldn't
it's all-
connect.
There was
to.
a good. The villain was, good,
I liked the villain.
but it's a western. Once you've seen like a few westerns, they're all the same, and I feel like it's old, it's flat. There's a reason why you don't watch westerns anymore.
You know, it's a fun fact about this movie. Sarah Jessica Parker was cast originally in that movie, but got fired because she did not make a good farm animal. Same story as when she was cast in the movie Ants. She got fired.
She doesn't do well in animal roles.
Yeah.
You're not convincing to me.
Samantha, just keep writing in your little articles.
When you're talking, like, you're not coming off as a chicken. Like, give me more chicken.
And I'm curious, like, what animal would they cast? But I was looking at the cast, I was like, these are all really old.
They're all old.
Yes, they were.
Old
I
people.
what was the one that wore the hat? I was like, oh, I'm writing Spaceship Earth right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank the Phoenicians.
for the alphabet. My third from the bottom is Brother Bear.
That was mine too. We're on the same mind.
I liked
link there.
Brother Bear.
It's cute, but it's the inner conflict story. And I guess I'm just a sucker for like, I need a good love story, and I need
So you like Brother Bear too.
You're right. Nah.
Brother Bear 2 is not good.
That was bad, yeah. It's not as bad as Tarzan 2, but
Yeah.
no, and you need a good villain, and the villain is the main character, is the protagonist.
Right.
And yeah. I'm supposed to hate the brother for hunting him down when he's
I'm
really
surpri-
trying to
hey,
avenge him.
I'm surprised this wasn't last for you, because it's more Phil Collins.
That's what killed it. Like, it was at the bottom, but then I watched Chicken Little, and I was like, I'm sorry, Phil Collins. You didn't tear this all the way down. But yeah, I was watching this like, is that Phil Collins? It was like 10:39. I was like, we're turning this off. I can't watch this right now.
I actually enjoy Brother Bear.
It was a pretty movie.
I get emotional.
It looked really good.
There is emotion with it, but
It looked really good.
it's an experimental way of telling a story
Brother
that Disney
Bear's
hasn't done.
Brother Bear's number 7 for me, so it's in the middle for me.
I mean, you're not too far off. We're 9, you're 7.
Yeah.
So that's not too far off.
I had Bolt as my
Number 8.
number 8.
Mine was Dinosaur.
Dinosaur is my number 10.
Okay, let's talk about Dinosaur.
Talk about Dinosaur. It's
I don't.
Dinosaur is actually number 5 for me.
Okay.
Because I actually got into the story while I was watching it, as opposed to some of the ones where I'm like, please just end. I don't want to watch this anymore.
I watched this going, this is Land Before Time.
It is that.
It
Yes.
is Land Before. It's the first Land Before Time. You know, we're wandering through the desert trying to get to the valley. You know, where everything's green and wonderful and
I
all the dangerous.
I only watched
dinosaurs
one
aren't there.
Land Before Time, and it was when I was young. So I mean, it's
Right.
been 35 years since I really watched it.
My wife put it on for the kids, I think, a little bit ago, and so she's like, "I like this movie.
It's
You'll
little
like it
fun."
too." Yeah.
I just don't like dinosaurs.
And that's
I don't like dinosaurs. They give me anxiety. So that's it. It made it above Bolt, but
Yeah.
I just
There was
it just
the CGI is really
the
cool.
CGI.
That's what was
about to
blowing me
say.
away. I was like, I was into it because like they're nailing this for its
Right.
time.
This was
And
very
being
experimental.
innovative, like with like using regular landscape and putting it on top, like where they're
Yes.
using animation methods
Right.
without having to, like paint everything out, create the universe, and focus on just the characters. I thought that was really cool. You're right. It is Land Before Time, but it sucked me in. I was interested in the story and how they were going to get out and get away.
And we got a mediocre attraction out of it.
We did, and now we're going to get Indiana Jones.
oh yeah.
But yeah. My number 7 was Bolt. That was my next one down.
Mine was Brother Bear for 7.
What
We've
was your
talked
7?
about
7
all-
is Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet. Let's talk Treasure Planet then.
I like
'Cause that was my
Treasure
6.
Planet.
That was my 6.
And this is
so.
where we will separate. This is our age difference, Jackie. And
Treasure Planet was number 4.
it is, and this is the comparison to Thief of Joy. I grew up with Muppet Treasure Island.
Yes.
And when I'm watching this,
You're thinking,
and I'm going,
I want to watch Muppet
I want to
Treasure
watch
Island.
Muppet Treasure Island, because what they did wrong in this, to me, is you have old school with space. I'm like, they're in a ship and they're in space. Like, it's too much fantasy with old spaceship, like old
It would have been better with
watercraft.
just like a regular spaceship.
If they did like a spaceship as opposed to like steampunk, and it's part of the era. Steampunk
liked
was rolling.
it.
It was
big
it was
at that
really
time.
big at that time.
and it's artistic. It's beautiful,
It's beautiful.
and it's well done. But in my mind, I couldn't get out of. I want to watch.
It's the same reason I put it in the same boat as Into the Woods, where I would rather watch the other version.
yeah.
Yeah. I like the take on it. I thought it's fun. It's,
Sure, like there's nothing wrong with the movie.
Nothing wrong.
It's a decent
Timing.
movie. It has like one song in it. I think that's okay. It looks very pretty with the combination of animation with CGI. Like,
I enjoyed this animation a little bit more than some of like the other animations in the other movies. Like,
Artistically, this is probably the best
yes,
yeah.
I would say
out
so.
of all of them. I think artistically, it is. Unfortunately, it's just an old story that's been told so much.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Jules Verne stories and I think this is like Rob Stevenson or something, like Sir or something like that. These stories are just old, and it's like they were great at their time when they told of adventure in the world. They try to make it in the universe. It just doesn't translate. It's just too old of a story.
Yeah.
And I get it. They're trying to get a new generation. They got you.
Yeah.
You're the right age for it.
Yeah.
And I was the wrong age for it. And yet we're only 7 years apart. Mm-hmm. It's just Muppet Treasure Island came out when you were born.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's just like there's a disconnect.
Right.
I don't think you're wrong for placing where you place it. I know a lot of people
that love this movie.
that love this
It's a great
movie that are
movie.
older millennial and younger, like
Yeah.
A lot of people my generation for sure. Like they're like, oh, Treasure Planet's the best movie.
yeah, and there's a
it's
really like a
all right,
cult
all right.
following for this. Mm-hmm. But not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now we're at the good side of the movie.
This half of it.
Yeah.
So what's your next?
What number are we?
I think we're on 5.
I'm on 5. Yeah, we got 5 left.
I put Meet the Robinson at 6, by the way.
Okay, you're at 6 for Meet the Robinsons.
I'm at 2 for it.
Meet the Robinsons was 4.
So we're all a little bit different.
Yeah.
Do we want
I-
to talk about those differences now?
mean,
Yeah, let's talk about it.
The story itself is fine. I think for me I just didn't care for the animation style, and that took me out of it.
It's bubbly.
Yeah.
The only reason why I didn't rank it more is because the desire to watch the movie is not there.
Yeah.
But if it's on, I'll watch it.
I think that's for all of them.
Yeah, I think that's pretty
I don't
accurate.
No,
for
think-
us.
there's several that if they're on,
It's
I'll
not like
leave
it's
the
like
room,
I'm not gonna
but
like.
this one in particular. Like I always find myself enjoying more than I realized.
It's just one of those movies you forget about.
It's a very forgettable movie.
And so that's why it's just in the middle for me. Like, if it's on, yeah, maybe I would watch it. Or if I'm like watching a kid and he wants to
It's a
watch
great
it.
story. It's you'll probably talk a little bit about this, but it definitely rings out like a true this is a Walt Disney inspired story arc. I mean, granted, I know it's based off of a book, but like the story arc of
It's the closest to the spirit of Walt Disney.
Correct. That's
When
what
they
I
told this story. When I watch this, I'm like, I get the Walt Disney like dream vibe
right.
and the persistence to not give up. You got
moving
a good villain.
Yeah.
Bowler hat guy.
Bowler hat guy, and then the bowler, like that was good. And they all hated me. What's up, Goob? hey Goob. Like, it just shows you like,
Well, you have like the famous line, I got tiny eyes.
yes, that was, and that was when the T-Rex is like, he has the ability to like,
But he can't get to him in the corner
Yeah.
because of his big head and tiny arms. Yeah.
and you're dealing with like the future, and this is about the time when Tomorrowland came out, the movie.
Yeah.
It was fun, and it makes me laugh, and I love the dynamic of the family. They were all like encouraging, and they were all like weird,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
and I love that. It was just like anyone is
It's
accepted,
a silly movie. It's a silly
and
movie.
it's about like a movie where somebody who was getting rejected and was not accepted has a family where they can be accepted for
Right.
being who they are. And I was like, that's a beautiful message.
It is. The message
and kids
is
need to
great.
see that sometimes,
I agree.
where it's like, hey, you're different. Everybody's different, but we will encourage you to be you and don't give up.
Right.
And I think that is such a powerful message. And I think they leave off on a Disney quote in the movie.
They do.
And I'm just like, it's number 2 for me. It's got
It-
good messaging.
It gives
It's got
you
a
the
good
vibes.
villain.
It gives you the warm.
There's a love
feeling.
story a little bit, I think it's great for me.
Yeah.
I thought they took a risk with it, and it won't hold up in time because the animation style is weak.
Yeah. Do you think this would be a better live action?
No.
No.
Not.
I think it's a
you
good
would- you
story
would-
for what it was.
I don't think so. I think you would have to be completely different. You can't go the wacky zany route with all the characters that they did.
it would
in
get
the movie.
dark.
Yeah, it would probably be very dark.
I was just curious.
I don't like live animation.
My number 5 was Fantasia 2000.
Mine is Atlantis.
Did I not put it on my list somewhere? I would have put it. I gave it a 3 Mickey bars, so it probably would have been number 4 for me.
What, Atlantis or?
Fantasia.
Fantasia.
Yeah, I have Fantasia.
And entertained me.
It's
My kids like it. They
was
like the
good.
short musical bursts.
Fantasia's great because it's just like something you can easily put on and like do something. It's like one of my like go-to like Sunday kind of like relaxation movies of like, oh, I'm just doing a project and I have it on.
Beautiful classical music being played.
Beautiful, and the animation styles are
complimentary, for
amazing.
sure.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I actually like when the movie ended. I was like, I want more. Give me more.
Yeah.
That's what I felt after the movie.
Do you remember seeing it in the IMAX
I
theater?
do. I
I
remember.
remember it.
That's the
Because-
day I got in trouble by Dad because I tried to turn his stanza on my own, and then he made me walk down the street before he came and picked me up.
Like,
Oh yeah, like as if
was
I
this
was
at home?
At home, yeah. I was at home.
Whoa, I don't
And
remember this at all.
Well, you weren't there. It was me and my cousin. We were in the car. You were someplace else. You were probably
Because I'm only 15 at the time when it
right.
comes out.
And so like
Yeah, because we went to go see it with the cousins.
Yeah, we went
Right.
down to
Yeah.
Mill.
right. And so like I literally walked down the street knowing my dad was just gonna come pick me up. I was old enough to know like he
Did
ain't
you
gonna
know?
abandon me. And then he drove up and was like, don't ever turn my car on ever again.
I don't remember this at all.
Well, you weren't there.
I know, that's what's crazy.
Like,
like, you did,
he
like Dad
turned it-
kept it with you.
Because I
too.
tried turning. Because if you remember that the stanza, like you had to be delicate of how you turn that thing on. Otherwise, it's like
You're gonna over crank it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he got really mad.
It was an easy
That was his
starter.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Don't worry, I killed that car in 2
Yes,
years.
you did. But no, I mean, yeah, it's just a beautiful film. It's
Yeah.
really great.
Fantasia's number 2 for me.
And Eisner wanted to do this earlier in the 80s
Yeah, he
and
did.
wanted it to happen more regularly, but it's just too costly.
Yeah.
And-
Costly and
It's just
It's a
the
different-
the culture's just not there. Like on
No.
Roku, you used to get the Vivaldi channel, and they used to play like operas and classical musical shows, and then they got rid of it because no one wanted to pay for it anymore.
Attention is not there.
It's just it's an art that's it's an art for a small group of people.
Yes.
It's not for mainstream.
Right. All right. What's the next one on your guys' list?
I have Lilo and Stitch as 4.
Same here.
Mine's at 2.
I can see why people have it at 2. I have it at 4. I have a hard time liking Lilo, and Stitch is not. I don't like Stitch either. It's just hard. I don't like either of the characters, but the story is it's fun
I like
and it
the
keeps
music.
you going.
I like the overall story of it.
It gives you. I mean, like it's the same vibe that I get when I watch Moana.
Yeah.
I mean, because you get similar cultures in that sense. Obviously, one's more modern than the other, but like you do get that Hawaiian culture in there, so you get that Hawaiian type music. With I thought like they really embraced the setting of the movie really well. With Hawaii and like how Elvis is a really big deal there. So like this was almost felt like a love letter for Hawaii.
I don't know, man. There's only one good character I really like in it, and it's the boyfriend. Everybody else, there's just
You
something.
like the boyfriend?
He's the only likable character.
Right.
Everybody else, there's some character like trait where you're going, I don't like you.
Sure.
I don't like you. You're annoying me here. You're annoying me here.
Maybe you just don't like people.
But no, like, I mean, there's
Well,
just
this movie they had to change. They had to like stop production and change a scene because of the timing of this movie. This movie came out 2001 or 2002.
really.
And there was a scene that they had to change because at the very end where like, they get in the big spaceship and there's a big chase through the island. Well, originally it was going to be an airplane going through the city. And then 9/11 happened and they're like, we can't do this.
No.
I can see why while they're animating during the time period.
So like you can see it. You can see the deleted scene where they steal an airplane, fly it through a populated
Can't
city.
do that.
No, you can't do that.
And so they're like,
I don't know. I liked the movie. I liked all the characters in the movie. The only thing that I didn't like that resulted because this movie was created was like
the TV show. You like the TV show?
TV show was actually
I
better
liked
than the movie.
the TV show. It was like Disney was promoting Stitch, like causing chaos in different movies and characters
Oh
in
yeah,
the
the
park.
promotion was really good for the movie.
And
They did well in
I
that, yeah.
hated that part of it.
Really, you hated that? I love
They
that.
come
Get
in
your
and create
own
chaos.
movie.
It made me not like Stitch because
really?
of that.
That
But
actually
I like
wanted me to
Stitch
see it.
in the movie, but I don't like Stitch outside of the movie, if that makes sense.
Wow, I actually like Stitch outside of the movie more than in the movie.
No, I
because it
can't-
was like watching like a child out of control, and I guess I may have control issues if that is really bothering me.
That's something like I cannot stand Stitch outside of this movie.
Okay.
That explains why you like punched Stitch at the park. Like, I hate you outside of the movie.
I
hate you.
I like the message of the movie.
I've got the high ground. No.
I personally like kind of like how you felt about like Meet the Robinsons. I like the message of the movie about like
There is a good message.
Ohana meets family. No one gets
Yes.
left behind. Like I really love that message.
That is a
It
great
was-
message that comes out of it, and that's what I think redeems it. Is they actually do a good job telling a story.
Right.
I may not like the characters, but the story is strong enough
Correct.
and pushes along where everyone grows,
Everyone has character growth
Yes.
in this movie.
and that is the biggest redeeming quality is good storytelling,
Yes.
as opposed to good story or good characters, bad story or
Yes.
flat
Yeah.
story.
Where did you guys put Atlantis? We kind of.
I'm at 3.
3.
Oh, okay. I'm at 5. It was
Yeah.
cute movie.
It's a good adventure.
It's a good adventure movie.
I think it was.
It's just in the middle.
It's
like,
a boy movie.
Yeah.
It's.
I will go back and watch this one. Like I will
That's
feel
not-
like
yeah.
I will come back and be like,
You're going to a whole
gonna
new
watch
world,
this.
and it's fresh.
I think it still holds up. I think the movie still holds up. The only thing that it lacks from like all other type of Disney movies is music.
Music
It
is the
doesn't have
weakest.
the music.
Yeah.
I did feel that this movie was very sexualized
Yeah.
compared to
my
any other.
daughter was
I
all
was
like,
like-
I like her red lipstick and yellow hair, and I'm all like, they did a good job with her makeup, yes. But it was very Jessica Rabbit,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
sensual with the villain.
even with the princess.
Yeah.
Oh
was
yeah,
very
yeah. That was
sexualized,
that
too.
was true. Yeah, it's the swimsuit. And it's funny because we were just talking about the news articles, and I'm all like, they came out with like dress codes of what is. You're like, you cannot have clothes dragging. And I was like, well, you can't dress like the princess in Atlantis. That's for sure.
Yep, that is
Too much skin.
Yeah.
But I mean, I felt the story was good. Yeah, like I left feeling satisfied after watching that movie.
It's a complete movie.
Yeah. Like I didn't feel like the need for more. I just felt like it was okay.
You
I
went on
liked
an
that.
adventure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a solid movie. Like, it's in the middle for me.
They're playing on that steampunk again.
Yeah.
For sure. You know, Journey to the Center of the World or the Earth with, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
It's
with a little like Indiana Jones feel to it.
It's definitely kind of like those lost, underrated movies that gets lost.
It gets lost because there's no music.
You can't, and the merchandise is hard to sell. Yeah. There's no meet and greet.
They tried to make an attraction for it, but then the movie flopped, and they're like, never mind.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That's what the submarine ride was going to be. It was like literally they even were advertising for it on the attraction,
and then they took it away.
It disappeared.
And then the sun bleached out the poster, and then they put with white out Nemo, and put a clownfish sticker on it, and everyone's like, "Whoa, Nemo's coming!" They're like, "Yeah,
pretty much. That's pretty much accurate."
Thank you, sun bleaching.
Fantasia was my number 2.
That's high. Yeah. But like you said, it was a good Sunday.
It's like a
Lilo
good
was
relaxing.
We switched on our Nemo and Fantasia, I think.
Nemo?
Yeah, not Nemo. Fantasia and Lilo.
Yeah.
Are we
I think we're on consensus. Emperor's New Groove is the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's
no
solid pick.
Like, even though there's no real, like, there's like 2 songs with Emperor's New Groove.
You know them.
You know them. Yeah. You do. I mean, yeah. I mean,
beware of the groove.
But you know, David Spade.
He knocks it out of the park.
Yeah.
Killed it.
You got Yzma, which is a great villain.
It was a fun.
That's
villain.
one villain.
She's a fun villain.
That's one
underrated villain.
I want to see at the Halloween party.
Yzma.
Yeah.
What's that in her
Like,
teeth?
I'm gonna hit you with this. Oh no! With this. Okay.
I remember when this movie came out. I watched it a ton with
It's fun.
friends.
I enjoy it. David Spade was great. I knew him from like SNL, like
Right.
Bye-Bye,
Yeah.
Tommy Boy and stuff, and he was just good. Or Just Shoot Me was his
Right.
TV show at the time, because Pacha's wife was also on Just Shoot Me.
Right.
And there's the great meme of like, when the sun hits the hill, it just right.
Right.
Yeah, it's just, I mean.
And then, of course, you got the most iconic character of the movie, Kronk.
Oh yeah.
Right.
This movie set up his career with Disney for a while.
Oh yeah.
With
totally.
Disney, I was all like, his big career was Seinfeld.
Yeah.
That was
but
his.
with Disney,
That was kind of his start. Then he got into Family Guy. And doing the other voiceover work. And so yeah, he's done several projects with Disney. He's the voice of, he's the safety spiel guy for Soren.
Yeah.
He recently was on that ride and he got recognized. They're like, oh, there he is.
Well, like he came for a promotion. That
Yeah.
was a headline. That he came and kind of did like what Johnny Depp did with Pirates.
Yeah.
But he gave the safety spiel and dressed up as.
When
the
I saw him, I
guy.
was like, oh, he's older.
Yep, he's older.
Yeah. No, it's solid movies, solid characters.
It makes you laugh.
You laugh, you enjoy it. Like, you can't. It's a movie that, like,
I
if
didn't-
it's on, I'm glued to
I didn't
it.
have to rewatch this movie for me to name it number 1.
Same.
was
I
like,
knew already it was number 1.
I saw in Pursuit Group. I was like, oh, that's number 1.
Yep.
That's an easy pick.
I think it would be in the middle with the Renaissance period, just because it nails a good story.
Yeah.
And the dynamic between John Goodman's character of Pacha
Yes.
and David Spade as the Emperor.
Perfect.
It was
works
great.
so
It was
well.
the odd couple. They're just great together. And
Solid.
mhm.
I mean, till this day, you still see people dressing up as
As the Emperor.
characters. As
Yeah, like
Emperor and
I
Pacha.
can't think of a dull character. The kids were good.
Mm-hmm.
The mom was good. Like all the characters in this movie were good.
Even the guy who threw off the Emperor's groove.
Yeah, he's
He
like
was great.
the favorite guy.
And even the guy who's like, I got turned into a cow. Can I go? You can go.
You can go. Like, it's good. It just holds up.
Yeah.
And I think it's the glimmer of hope that really comes out of this.
You're just like, yes, a good movie.
But it is that old style. It's Hercules style. And
It really
was, is. And my reflection on this whole period was like, you needed to go through this.
Yep.
As opposed to, like, as we discussed coming in here, the Bronze Age or the Dark Ages, where you had such a old people holding on to old ways post-Walt.
Yeah.
And, like, them trying to figure out their identity while also trying to make money off of movies.
Yeah.
You know, because in this period, they're trying. And as a result, we get a better period afterwards.
I mean, they pushed through a lot of movies during this period, yeah.
And they learned, you know, you gotta write, if you're gonna be funny, you better come up with something, because like Home on the Range did not.
Nope.
Yeah, the characters.
Do funny.
The
you know,
characters were not great in that, and that's what brought it down.
Bob Iger came in and he was all like, where is our new characters? I don't see them anywhere in these parades.
Let's buy them all. Let's buy new characters.
Yeah.
Pixar, you are now me. Muppets, you are now mine. Marvel, mine.
Is it
Star
Iser
Wars.
did Muppets? Or was that
He did.
Iger?
He did. At the very end,
Yeah.
he did.
It doesn't count. He gets no glory. No, he gets a lot of glory. He should get a lot of glory.
He should.
It was just towards the end.
It was at the end when he was the villain.
He lost his better half.
Yeah. But we already talked about him.
Yes.
in our CEO episode.
Yes. So we went through all those movies. What were some of your standout movies?
What's your number one?
Do you agree with us? Emperor's New Groove, number one?
Tell us why Bolt is number one.
Yeah.
Or Dinosaur.
Do you think your wife would pick Bolt over Emperor's New
No,
Groove?
no,
Okay.
she would pick Emperor's New Groove.
Everyone loves it.
Yeah.
I've yet to
There's-
meet somebody's like, it's a bad movie. No, it's a good
No.
movie. It holds.
Yeah. So let us know if you disagree with Emperor's New Groove. Be curious to hear your opinions and thoughts, or what your ranking is for the post-Renaissance era. You can follow us on all of our social medias. You can email us. Love to hear from you. With that being said, have a magical day.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Matterhorn Yodelers. Please remember, before your bobsled comes to a complete stop, to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And remember,
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.